So, welcome back to Dark Souls 3, Part 7. Now we're going to go ahead and take on the Road of Sacrifices. These dudes are wonky. It's kind of... Shriving stones are the only way to replenish your weapon back to its normal form, so if you don't like what you're doing with it, like building it towards a strength, quality, or dex build, then just use a shriving stone and it'll revert back to normal with all of its scalings returned. A lot of this area is trying to gain high advantage and just kind of plunge. See down there. Poison dude's kind of annoying, so kind of run after him first. You can drop down here, but we're gonna wait. We want to get these guys. Then if you have enough arrows and stuff, you can actually kind of just sit here and snipe away at these guys. But now you want to come down here. There'll be a bit of a hard fight though, so you got to be careful here. Kind of running around shieldless. This is an enemy NPC. And that thing will just chunk health, so yeah. Butcher knife lost a lot of its luster from DS1 and on, so not really worth using for any build other than just kind of, I want to play the game with the butcher knife only. Brigand Twin Daggers is a very interesting weapon though. It's dex heavy. So normal form is just going to be one little knife. And then two form will be two knives. So, pretty popular amongst dex builds. Very short range though, so sees limited uses in a lot of areas. And just kind of come up here. The bridge is kind of a death trap, so you want to avoid that. You want to get behind. And this isn't overlooked, so just kind of go back if you need to, for whatever reason. But traveling along this path, you actually want to go to that side. That guy's going to produce constant poison in the area, which makes it kind of a difficult route to navigate. Just kind of fall down. That guy might jump down here, or he'll just fall off the edge. Two dogs, very hard to deal with because it's such a tiny little area. If you can, probably just draw one out, one at a time. Key item here. That will be for our faith person. The first Braille Divine Tome. If you're dabbling into miracles and stuff like that, you're going to need that in order to learn new ones. Morn's Ring just kind of increases the potency of miracles. So, useful for miracle builds in the early stage. Kind of deviates and falls off later, though. And this guy's kind of a nuisance, as well as this man over here. But really, you just kind of want to snipe them down if you can. They'll get really close to the edge, though, and they're able to kind of clip through and hit you. Just like that. And just kind of taking the time to be patient there, and that's how you get through that little part. And these shaman dudes are a little bit easier to deal with. They don't do much but poison the area. Now we can kind of just leave him. Heavy usage on the Estus Flask, but it doesn't matter because we come up on a couple of NPCs and a bonfire. This NPC is very important to the Lord of Hollow ending. You're actually going to need to keep this one alive in order to get that ending. We'll cover that once we get to those, actual areas of the game. But this is going to be Anri of Astora and Horus the Hush. Horus will never speak, and Anri will change depending on what your character is. So if you're a female, he'll be a male. If not, then it's going to be vice versa. So we're going to get the man version of Anri in this run.
Oh, hello. How do you do? I'm Anri of Astora, unkindled like you. This is Horus, a friend and travelling companion. Are you too in search of the Lords of Cinder? We're well along the road of sacrifices. Below us is the Crucifixion Woods. Beyond the flooded woods lies Farron Keep, home of the Undead Legion. Further yet is the Cathedral of the Deep. We seek the cathedral, home of the grim Aldrich. We may go our separate ways now, but we are both seekers of lords. The next time we cross paths, one may find the other in a time of need. May the flames guide your way. Oh, yes, Horus. He's not very talkative, but don't think ill of him. He is an upstanding, kind-hearted knight, a fine partner for this grueling journey. Without his help, I would have cursed this onerous duty long ago. We are well along the road of sacrifices. Below us is the Crucifixion Wood. Beyond the flooded woods lies Farron Keep, home of the Undead Legion. Further yet is the Cathedral of the Deep. We may go our separate ways now, but we are both seekers of lords. The next time we cross paths, one may find the other in the time of need. May the flames guide your way. We are well along the road.
So, a couple of little notes there that he put down for us, and then speak to Horus. He will give you the Blue Sentinel's Covenant. So now you can be a blue, and pretty much help out anyone who is being invaded and be summoned to the world in order to prevent the invader from killing the host. Doing so will get you some of the progression items required to, increase covenants and stuff like that. And that's about it. May the flames guide your way. Then kind of rest if you took some damage there. Those two will now disappear. Once you travel back and forth from the Firelink Shrine in here. Just remember, always exhaust NPC dialogue to continue their quest lines. Anri is very important, like I said. Two paths here. You can take on the spear guys or just kind of drop. I usually just drop. This is like a little side path here, just for a soul. And then kind of jump down here. These little stink bugs. They'll just produce poison on you. These guys are very difficult in the early game. Gotta want to stay patient with them. And they'll be hiding throughout the entire swamp, so just be careful. I will let the bugs run up on you so you don't aggro that thing. These bugs are a returning enemy from Dark Souls 2. And anytime you can get the drop on these guys, I would take it. Just give yourself enough stamina to kind of not just sit there and hit damage. There you go. They are a good source of Titanite shards if you need them. So if you have high enough luck, you'll be able to pull it out. The swamp is a very dangerous place. We'll cover that if I survive this. Locked door. This guy, though, is a problem. So you kind of want to run around him. Go ahead and grab some items real quick. The sellsword gear, that is the second form of gear from the early starters that we can get. The twin blades are a very popular weapon, probably the best weapon in the entire game. And then the most important item here was the Farron pole, which we read this description. Enables heavy, sharp, and poison infusion. So now we are able to actually build our character in a form of, using the strength, dexterity, or just generally putting on poison infusions for your weapon. So make use of that when you go back to Andre for build purposes. And then this guy can be a bit of a troublesome character. The Black Knight's from DS1. He's the only one in the game. Or not the only one in the game, but you see them much later, but he's the only one in this early chapter. You can get behind him pretty easily when he does like some super buff moves. But if he smacks you a couple times, it's over. You can use him for an early farm of souls because he gives out 900, almost 1,000 every single time. Or you can just farm his gear right out for him and get you a really nice weapon that you probably can't use right away. Shield and the entire armor set. Does take a few hours though, unless your luck is incredibly good. In real life and in the game. Kind of come down here. Dog will get mad. By now you should have the timing of dogs and their charging down, so hopefully you can read that well. These dudes have a percentage chance at dropping a spear type weapon. They're just very annoying to deal with. They have some kind of weird hitboxes. Just want to get behind them. Yeah, trying to stand in a fair fight against them, they'll just kind of smack around it. It's really weird how they were designed. And just kind of travel to where you didn't go last time. Popping these dudes up. Now, while you're in embered form, if you're playing online, this is a huge PvP area. You'll pretty much get invaded every single time because there are some people who still play the game from time to time, and they literally just sit and camp for the little swamp here. Those dudes are kind of highly leveled. They have like best gear in the game. They'll just sit there and watch you while their friends kind of beat on you. So it's just an incredible twin show. If you don't want to deal with that, just take it offline. Or if you feel like you're pretty good at PvP, then, do your thing. Rare chance for these guys to drop poison. Resin, basically that's what that is. And just kind of skirt around here. Watch out for the bugs as you come up on them. Yeah, like I said, just weird. Playing Great Shield, you should know whose shield that is, just from looking at it if you played the other games. We're traveling up this way because we want to get to a bonfire. There is a scripted NPC invasion in the swamp. So you don't want to be in the swamp while you do that invasion because you will actually slow down pretty bad. Just walking wise, and there's no like sodden ring or anything like that in this game to make you go faster in the water. Once you feel like you cleared it out pretty well, just head on over. And you want to go up, and then right over here. Come up onto this, and there will be a bonfire. So you do want to light it, but you don't want to sit at it unless you're really hurting right now, because then you'll reset all the stuff. This is a Madman's summon sign. So pretty much the Mad Phantoms are those, you know, where we met the other guy out, the Mound Makers. Oh, that was just a cheap shot. Okay. So you'll have a Mound Maker come, you know, he'll help you out for a while, but then he'll eventually turn on you, and you'll have to kill the spirit. So it's up to you if you want to summon that thing. So no real rewards for doing it, just getting help through the area for a bit. Then here you got to make a choice if you want to take on these dudes in like a really small area. A couple of items down there though, but you can approach it from two sides. You can go from the river and on, or kind of go on the backside like I was just at. Tiny hole right here. And the gaping one right here. So he'll immediately aggro from this distance. Yep. Just want to watch out for that grab attack. It's probably the worst thing to do. Very good drops from him. A rare ember and a Titanite shard. Drop, get the item. Estus Shard, best reward right here. Just kind of walk. Pull out the heavy. Then, as you saw there, you can use the little fire here to kind of dance around. AI is stupid enough to run into it. You can actually kill them doing that way. You can do it with both if you need to. Kind of just make them dance around you. Going through here will be some hollow fights. So, first instance of a hollow wizard. Go ahead and just keep grabbing up items and just keep searching around the entire swamp. The biggest thing though is that we actually want to do the invasion and then deal with 2 NPC guys, and then we have a ton of giant crabs. The giant crabs are pretty strong in the early game. Can really devastate you if they get like a really good grab attack off. You just want to use caution when playing against those things. Very easy to dodge though if you like know their moveset. And right now we're walking pretty fine, but as you get deeper into the swamp, you actually start doing like a really slow walk. Then the crab's gonna get aggroed on us. And we kind of want to pull the crab over here, because we don't want to fight it in the big water. Unless it gets stuck. That's kind of fun. Yeah, that's why you don't want to be here. Here you go. So you just kind of want to take a little pose. Watch out for that grab. Right there is the most damage you're going to get. Then you'll stagger it just like you do the crystal lizards, and boom. The Great Swamp Ring. So this will boost your pyromancies if you're a pyromancer. Very good early ring to get. Kind of does a percentage increase to your fireballs and stuff like that. Then you want to skirt around here. Eventually you're going to pop off the invasion, so you kind of want to be quick about this. Pyromancy Tome and the Conjurator stuff. So now we got the Pyromancer's gear and the Sellsword gear and another form of ways to get more spells from the Miracle and the Pyromancer. Now we're being invaded, so you want to stay like on land or somewhere where it's a little bit easier to run, because the point of this invasion is to kind of get you caught in the swamp, surrounded by a bunch of huge crabs and stuff, just to make it really difficult. There it is. Now, every now and again, Heisel will do this. Yep. Kind of just want to take your pokes when you can. They'll heal. That's probably the most damaging move. Just kind of trade blows. There we go. Okay. Heiselpick and the Xanthus Crown. We know that from Dark Souls 1. I believe it was in 2 as well. It's just and I mean, it's a straight up from Demon Souls 2. So if you fight the one of the bosses in there, you get this massive looking crown, kind of ridiculous looking. It does really nothing for you, so not sure if it boosts pyromancies or not. I don't think it does. Or sorceries, I mean. And then the Heiselpick, very interesting weapon. You could see what it kind of did there. So the skill is steady chant, but it doubles down as a staff as well. So classified as a little pickaxe, hammer weapon, but can be used as a catalyst for sorceries. Never ran it myself, so I'm not really sure if it's even that good. I'm sure it's not. Just like a lot of the little staffs are. They had a great concept for those things, but the execution was poor, I would have to say. Then another big crab. Kind of want to guide this dude over here. You just don't want to be caught out in the open with these guys, like... Oh. And then once you're in trouble, it's really hard to heal, though, so you want to use, like, cover and trees. The Grass Crest Shield is actually really interesting. We also know this from Dark Souls 1 as well. Very popular shield. Physical reduction is 89% though, so that's what makes the shield kind of useless. But it will act as a Chloranthy ring, so it stacks. So if you put the Chloranthy ring and the Grass Crest Shield together, your stamina will kind of refill at a really rapid rate. So very interesting setup. If you're like stamina heavy. Very good for like sorcery builds too. So you have those quick roll stamina usage and all that stuff. And we're gonna have a couple of hard fights in there. Might benefit you though to go back to a bonfire and rest, because we've taken a lot of critical damage up to this point. And the NPC guys do have some weapons that can reach. And just kind of explore it the way you want. Come up to the edge here, they won't really aggro until you get really, really near them. Fallen set, it's very cool. Little Iron Mask type thing going on there. Then just stay out of the range of that guy and he won't really chase you down. And even if you're trying to pull one at a time, the other one will eventually join, so you're going to end up having a dual fight. I would say for here, just kind of run. Then go up the stairs. Warrior slumber ahead. Okay. That is a gag item, so you'll go there and grab it, but you'll also pop a giant crab. And coming up to here, there's a little pathway. Kind of be careful though, because we have a spear guy and a mage sitting right behind him. Yep. And that soul spear is very strong. It's actually pretty hard to get them separated. We want to use this right here. Pretty difficult to deal with there, so just kind of fall, you take a little damage. All that for a ring of sacrifice. Know what those do already. And then you just want to cut this dude off right there. There we go. And then you get crystal gem and make your weapon magic. So there's two ways to make your weapon magic in this game. Crystal is, think of it as more of like a heavier hitter for intelligence builds. And the secret path for another shield. Golden Falcon Shield, I believe this was a DS2. I think it was introduced in DS2, I'm not really sure. Don't remember it in DS1. It's got pretty shit stats, so don't know what the point of it is, to be honest. Yeah, let's see if we drop the crab. Oh, it might have already popped and aggroed earlier, so going through there is going to be a ambush from one of those giant weird creatures that we've been seeing. There's a couple ways you can approach that section. Going through here, this is kind of the quest progression area. Then just watch out for in there. That is a giant room of shit. But if you come over here to the left side and run up this path, we're actually going to meet our sorcery vendor.
Well, this is unexpected. I don't often have visitors. What do you want? This is my study that you've happened upon. If you haven't any business, I've reading to get back to. How intriguing. Very well. Indeed, I am a sorcerer, with plenty to share. However, what champion demands service? Clearly, you're not that sort of woman. So you will make me a promise that in exchange for my teaching, you will bring me knowledge. In the form of scrolls detailing sorcery's secrets. Well, can you assure me of this? Very well. You're no fool. I take it you understand the weight of a promise. I am Orbeck, of Vinheim, unkindled one. I shall teach you sorcery. We will learn together. It shall be like our very own school.
So, a very weird pause. It happened right there. It's because the game was trying to register if you even had the intelligence requirement to even speak to that dude. So he's kind of an ass. Very stuck up, you know, one of those Vinheim people. So Griggs was actually pretty dope in DS1, but this guy is a little bit of an asshole, kind of I'm better than you mentality. But if you actually don't show up with 10, at least 10 intelligence, he won't even give you the time of day and you'll miss out on his entire quest line. So, up to you if you want to even progress that. I already came with 10 intelligence, so I didn't have to do anything with that. But for other builds like the Deprived and probably the Warrior classes, you're going to need to invest at least 10 into intelligence to even get that conversation going. But he'll show up at Firelink and he'll be your sorcery vendor. And the best source of sorceries. So this is unfortunate here. Then in here, this is that giant room of all the hollows. I would just kind of let him get up. Yeah. They will all come up. Not quite sure what it is with these guys, but they are a little bit more enhanced. I think it has to do with that lantern thing. Heretic staff, pretty poor staff to use. I tried it for a while in my sorcery build, and I did not like it. I think the starting staff is actually a lot better for a good grip of the game. So you actually get towards endgame content, which is really shit. We're going to go ahead and ignore the rest of this part. We already did this pathing. Once you get the NPC vendor, then now it's kind of a good time to start thinking about heading back to Firelink and upgrading your stuff, getting ready for another boss fight, or progressing towards other areas of the game. So natural progression is going to take us towards where we were just going, and then side pathing is going to take us over towards that area. But we actually want to come down here. And you do want to be very careful because there's an ambush in the corner. And then you actually meant to fall down here through that hole where that wizard was kind of chilling and shooting stuff at me. So the room that we didn't enter, this is, you would have fallen, picked up the ring, and then get ambushed. So Sage's ring, that will increase your sorcery damage. Or no, shorten spell casting time. Yeah, so DS3 is, you know, all the Dark Souls are kind of weird in that regard, where if you level up like your dexterity or something, then it's going to make you shoot your spells faster. I guess like frame by frame, a little bit quicker. I don't know, I just shoot them off. I don't really care about stuff like that. Even in Elden Ring, I didn't really pay too much attention to that stuff. Sorcerer gear, so you're getting all the starting gear, like, right out the gates. Didn't have to go on a huge trek for none of that stuff. Then, if you're very confident and you don't want to reset any of these rooms, then go for the boss. It's not that difficult of a boss, but it can kind of chunk your health down if you're not careful. So, you know, running around with 2 Estus Flasks versus the 8 that you potentially could have up to this point is, you know, advice that I'm not going to give. Because that's just not a smart way to play Souls games. Just go in with full heals, kind of deal with the enemies, you get more souls anyway. And then that's kind of it for the Crucifixion Woods. They just kind of path up. Hardest part probably to deal with is definitely going to be I would say it's definitely the invader, because unless you know how to kind of deal with him, he can kind of chunk your health down and kill you immediately, depending on what build you're running to. For the most part, fast rolls and everything, close the distance, get behind things, stab them. It's really Dark Souls. And that'll be everything that was grabbed in the swamp. Off to the side path, you saw the Black Knight, so farm him up if you need some souls. And then those two dudes over there, they're just a pain. We'll deal with them in the next one. But we'll go ahead and return to Firelink because we did grab some new stuff. And we want to take the time to go around and just kind of let the NPCs tell us how much of a hero we are. So this is an interesting NPC. You actually want to befriend her.
You're an unkindled, aren't you? I am Cirrus, of the Sunless Realms, former servant of the divinity. Duties we each bear, but one's duty is a solitary affair. I doubt we've much to gain from fraternization. Blessing of the moon upon your journey. I doubt we've much to gain from fraternization. Blessing.
She's pretty cool. You get like a very, very good little talisman at the end of her quest line. Very obscure though in how you even progress her. She is part of a covenant that is enemies with another covenant that you can actually join in the game. So if you do something later that we'll cover, you'll piss her off and then that'll be it. No more Cirrus for us. So run around the entire area as usual, do your loop.
Gaining admission.
See if anyone has new conversations. Buy whatever you might need from any vendors. Shouldn't be a whole lot though. This is where Orbic will kind of chill out for the rest of the game. He's interesting though. We'll get back to him in a minute. Explain his little thing.
Oh, Champion of Ash, do you wish to?
Alright, so things about giving her Divine Tome. So there's going to be two types of tomes that you can pick up. They're going to be the normal ones, and then there's going to be the dark ones. You give her a dark one, and you mess up her quest line. Plain and simple. You give her a dark one, Igon will come and take her away, and you'll have to fight him, and all sorts of shit happens, so spoiler alert on that, but it is what it is. When you give her a tome, make sure that it's a divine tome and not a deep one. So if it says deep, do not give her that stuff.
Oh, you've brought me a Braille divine tome. Now I can tell new tales of the greater miracles can be quite the epics. What fun we will have. You know, in
She'll always say that line there, so don't worry about her. New miracles you can learn is medium heal. So a little bit better of a heal, but honestly still worthless in my opinion, just because the FP cost alone is 55. And like even standard sorcery playthroughs, you're not going to have that much FP, so 55 is very deep for a heal. Just Estus Flask up. Replenishment. Tears of Denial is probably the best miracle in the entire game. I like to use that one a lot because, as you can see there, grants one more chance to endure when HP reaches 0. So think of this as like the second life thing. It was made popular in Demon Souls as well. So 2-slot use, but very well worth it. FP cost is through the roof. So you're pretty much like, trick around this is to be in an area or in a zone, cast the spell, and then sit at the bonfire to replenish your FP. And you'll have full FP along with, you know, the double life thing going. So it's pretty cool. It does actually, it's prevented a lot of, you know, unnecessary deaths before. Very expensive. Miracle, create a shockwave. It's a non-damaging shockwave. It just kind of pushes people away and you can parry arrows with it and stuff like that. Just too costly though. I'd like to see this be more of like a 5 FP cost more than a 26. Because it doesn't do, if it did damage, then maybe, you know, we would talk, but nah. Go ahead with Pyromancer. Go ahead and give him his. Now with his, we'll get 2 types of pyromancy tomes as well, but he won't get mad at the ones that he can't read. He just says that he's not a woman, and a woman is the only one that can read certain pyromancy tomes.
Yes, here we are. It's been long indeed. With this, I can teach you more sophisticated. Splendid. I can boast I am your tutor a little longer. If you seek the lands of the lords, the home of pyromancy's drifts comparatively close. At least, that is what pyromancers of the Great Swamp. The place is called Izalith. Oh, how I wish to behold a primal pyromancer. Well, these are old tales. No one knows where the truth begins.
So, pretty cool little lore bomb there. I mean, Izalith, we know that from Dark Souls 1 as well. New pyromancies, you just get an even bigger fireball. Bursting fireballs are pretty cool, but the way that their little things are set up is, even though you shoot like, 10 fireballs out of your hand, you're only going to get 1 damage for it. Like, one of them is going to register as a hit. So even though it should be like individual fireballs should kind of do their own damage, they had to not do that so that you wouldn't just chunk the game with just, bursting fireballs all over the place. Great combustion's pretty great. You just summon a flame for your hand, just like catch flame from Elden Ring. Like, very good for PvP use and, enemies that like to get kind of really close to you. Poison Mist is wonderful. You can use this to cheese enemies that are just giving you a lot of trouble. Anything that's susceptible to poison, kind of cast this giant mist around and then wait their health out. And that's it. Flash Sweat. Intense sweating increases fire damage absorption, so that's pretty straightforward. And then Profuse Sweating temporarily boosts all your resistances. So pyromancy builds are pretty cool. Now, Orbic here.
Oh, you're back again. I'm Orbeck of Vid. Let us begin with the basics. The ideal sorcerer bears the twin fate. Oh, you could at least act as if you're paying it. I don't mean to seem over in exchange for my sword in the form of scroll. I hope you're not one. I don't think
So he's funny with his dialogue. He's definitely trying to be a teacher. Now you get access to the better of the sorceries here. So now you got Great Soul Arrow, Heavy Soul Arrow. These take a little bit more time to charge up, but when they shoot and hit, they hit hard. Very low FP cost too, so very useful in your arsenal. Farron Dart, don't sleep on this thing. This thing can just damage things. And it shoots really fast for 3 MP cost. It's insanely good. Like the overall DPS in this thing, once you get your sorcery going, is insane. Flash Sword and Soul Great Sword, a little bit slower than it is in Elden Ring, but a very cool idea. So I'm glad that they brought those into that game. And then, of course, the original stuff that we know: Magic Weapon Shield, Spook, and Oral Decoy.
Come again.
So with Orbic, if you actually don't give him any sorcery scrolls, like after completing like 1 or 2 bosses, he will leave forever, and you broke your promise. So that's kind of the shit thing about him.
Well, Matt, 'tis good to see what needs smithing this day.
Go ahead and give him the Theron Coal.
Oh, my. This coal is from the undead legion used to forge the weapons of Farron's Abyss Watchers. A fine prize. I'm honored to be endued with it. Now I'll be equipped to infuse. Praise the gods, eh?
Then we want to reinforce, because we got an Estus Shard. Make sure it's 8. There we go.
Yes.
And then, like you said, we are now able to infuse the heavy, sharp, and poison into our weapon now. So sharp will carry us all the way up to an A ranking in dexterity. That should just tell you enough about what this weapon's all about.
Pretty be careful.
But we're going to save that off for our Lothric Knight Spear. Then, of course, there's Greerat. So he'll say nothing different.
Goodbye.
We're inching ever closer as long if you do not do anything with this guy over here and you defeat a bunch of bosses, he's eventually just going to die, and then that'll be the end of the Lord of Hollowing ending for you. So we're not doing that. So no worries here. But Lionheart up here won't have anything to say. He already has nothing to say.
What is it now?
Oh. Didn't mean to do that.
Welcome home, Majesty. Very well, then take.
Now go ahead and level up. We want that dex. We're getting closer.
Farewell, Ashen Me.
Then if you want to, you can actually sell your souls to her. It'll be for the same price range that you get just from chunking them down normally.
Ashen One.
Well, very well, then take no. Farewell, Ashen Me.
There we go. So now we're able to use the Lothric Knight Spear. We're gonna have to level this thing up, turn it into a sharp one, and then we will kind of be riding the entire game with it, to be honest, along with our halberds, but, you know, we actually have to meet those requirements a little bit more. We meet them right now, it's just the shards is what we're really missing. And then we have to really de-armor ourselves a lot because it's a heavy spear. So we'll be doing some medium rolls from here on out. And de-armoring yourself is pretty dangerous because you lose all types of resistances. And the little that we had, I mean, you're going to see we're going to take some really bad damage too. I might opt for a medium roll type thing going for a little bit in case things get really crazy. Well, that'll be it for Dark Souls 3 today. Once we get back, we'll go ahead and take on the area boss and a few of those NPC dudes, and then show off some alternate routes you could take for DS3.